Hey, I did a thing. A very detailed thing. This is a completed Foxy Grid. Oh, is that not completed enough for you? Ta-da! Literally as far as it can go with the line of demarcation that's also in the logbook. And if you want it to be more divided as it's meant to be in the logbook, where it has that line that separates half of it with the Foxy drawing below that you're supposed to copy to the one above, for the intended puzzle, or not the intended in logbook activity, like the one that's the Fazbear presented one, you know, versus the weird supernatural, like, oh, name secret one. I put that in here. It's going to be, I think either I think I'm going to have a Photoshop document in this, because I can export it as a Photoshop document or save it as one, and then I'll have the two exported images of the one with Foxy and the one without that goes on for the whole way. Now let me explain some of the value of this. A lot of people when filling out letters in the logbook will inevitably make one mistake somewhere. That's not a guarantee, but it's very easy to mess up once. And if you mess up once, that will ruin the entire grid up to a certain point. So let's say you add 2 P's or forget a P or something like that somewhere in this list, right? Oh no, now your entire thing is going to be one letter off shifted for every time you messed it up. Which is the value of how I did this, because I did not just write this down by hand all the way through. All like 2,000 something letters that it would be. I actually did the math of how much it would be if I wrote it by hand. What I did was, if we break down over here in the file a little bit, this is one copy of the alphabet at a time. Where... Oh, this is gonna be most of it. Oh, you're not even a thing. Okay, anyway, this is gonna be a better visual example of what I'm talking about, probably. So yeah, so you can see this is a copy of the alphabet, stuck it there. So how I did this is I wrote the initial alphabet 1 through 26, A to Z. You can actually see I did mess it up once where I forgot the letter D when filling it out, which ruined the entire thing, but I added in the letter D to fix it, and then redid it all. So I wrote in Z, and then I copy and pasted it. So A to Z, I put it over here. And then, okay, so I cut it off, I erase it at S. And then, okay, so T is the next start of it. So I copy and paste the alphabet again, starting with T. Or I erase to the left of it, whatever's to the left of it. Put it in. Okay, now I'm up to Z. Next alphabet, so on. Until here. Because once I have Z in the 45th slot, it goes back to A being 1. So it's effectively, this 27, or 127 is the equivalent of 1A. So I can just copy and paste the entire thing. I can just copy this entire folder here of everything up to that point. So all from here to here, copy and paste and moved it down. It is going to be functionally identical. However, it took until that long to get an A in that position. This is not technically flawless. There's always the room for error that I messed up somewhere along the road and didn't notice it. But that should have done it. What does have me that I'm pretty sure I did this right. Because there should be one for every, there has to be one for every letter in this first alphabet before I loop back to the original, right? In theory, mathematically. So if I'm 27, so there should be one of each, a unique one of each letter here. There should be no repeats up until the A, where it resets, if this was done right. So I think this is a correct Foxy Grid. I'm pretty sure. And that's important because that means the answers we'll get out of it are going to be correct. I had a lot of motive to do this. In fact, I planned to do it earlier, like earlier in the year. I just never. I just kept making a ton of small mistakes and then procrastinating. And today I'm like, I'm doing it finally, especially with the game theory kind of hunt placed on it. Because there's a lot of, not only does no one have a perfect Foxy Grid typically, or there's no guarantee you have a perfect Foxy Grid without it, double checking it all the way through, but it's not everyone has the damn logbook, and not everyone's willing to fill it out all this way, and there's a lot of images of it that are in really low resolution that are not easy to look at. This is very high resolution. This is 7,000 by like 8,925, I think. This is an exact copy practically of what you would get out of the logbook. So in red, we have the numbers that it gives you. So 1 through 45 on the top, and then 1 through 14 on the left before it fades out eventually. And then I wrote in the numbers so you have the reference columns if you want to check them. And then it goes up to 58, counting the duplicated sides. Because we have, like I said, the mirrored thing right here, which we have the version of with completed here. And then this is a mostly perfectly to scale Foxy. I directly traced it over the one in this, and then I found you could line up the corners of his thighs with some of the squares down here, which are the right side of the 18th square and the left side of the 28th square. Line up with the sides here. You can see I checked my work here. See, it lines up, and that is the 28th square and the 18th square. And then I got it scaled so the distance between the legs is correct, which, since this is a vector file, which I was scaling proportionately, means since these line up correctly, the rest of it should line up correctly if there's any use of having Foxy here. I don't know what you would do with Foxy other than do what the page itself recommends, which is making a pixelated version of this Foxy up here. I don't know what you would do with that, but you could do it. Again, I don't know how you interpret that puzzle, you know? Like, would it be for each color, like body part? Like, what does that change about the... Are you just going around it so, like, oh, if Foxy's there, you don't fill in that square? And then you have the grid from that point, but then it's like, okay, then what are the numbers you're inputting that are working around Foxy? Because he's huge. So for Foxy to reasonably affect the code, that means the code has to be, like, really big. With, like, some really huge, like, really big numbers thrown in here. It would have to be stuff like 25 by 25. Or like 15 by 22 or something like that, or stuff like that for Foxy to affect how the grid works. In a way where you have to go around it and all that. And also, if it is going around it, if we're assuming those spots are blank, right, wherever Foxy would be, no, because that would, as I mentioned, if one letter's off, that will mean every single one of these letters is going to be one off. So I guess Foxy would displace where those letters are, but like I said, for that displacement to happen, he still has to be, like, here-ish and all that, and that's going to be a lot of space. But, you know, I think it's just going to be nice for people to have a free resource they can use where it will have everything filled out. They can easily check it cleanly. There's no low resolutions of people who hand-filled out their logbooks you have to check for. It has pretty much all the information that page gives you and a little bit more, technically, because I did number the side. It's all flat versus a lot of times when you're taking the image of the book, they are slightly angled because of the curve of the page being bound into a book. And like I said, it's clean, it's everything. It's high resolution. You can zoom in, you can zoom out all you want. And this doesn't mean this wouldn't be like piracy of the book. This is one specific page. And if you say this is piracy, I mean, Foxy's here. What do you want me to do about it? I tried some solutions now that I had a completed Foxy Grid. I didn't really get anything good with some original ideas with the tally marks. The tally marks, for anyone who's wondering, are 5 on page 9, 10 on page 19, 14 on page 31, but that can also be 5 and 9, because there's a 5 on the left side, and then there's 5-4 on the right side of the page. So whether you add them up by page or by grouping could change it a little bit, so it could be 14 or 5 and 9. and then 5 on page 36, and then 5 on page 100. I thought about, like, oh, I'll just take, like, for example, 5 by 9, so 5 down, 9, wow. That was one idea I had. Problem is, well, that works up to a certain point, up to, like, for almost all the letters. There is no 100 on this grid. It is 58 rows and by 45. There is no 100th row or column to take for that number to work. So that idea was dead, that you couldn't just take the page as the coordinates. Another one I thought of was this is my favorite. I really wish this was a solution, because this would be very intuitive and wouldn't require nearly as much effort as other ideas. So let's say you take 5 for E, and then you go 10 down to 15 for O, and then by adding another 5, or adding the 10, right? And then you add to the 10 the 14 to get N. Or no, it wouldn't be 14, it would be 29 for the C. And then you add 5 for the H, and then you add 5 for M for 39. And then you could do with the 5-4, it only adds a letter T to it that you wouldn't have. So you can remove or add the T, basically, because that crosses whether or not you have 20. You'll see if you try to fill it out this way. And unless the kid's name is Meko or Tomek, I can't think of a combination of these letters that got me anything. And this is kind of what I like. This why I thought that might be a solution, beyond it just using the tally marks in the Foxy Grid in conjunction, which I think any way you use the tally marks for the Foxy Grid, I think, are interesting and worth pursuing. Because those are the kind of two missing keys left of the logbook. That haven't been, like, kind of combined properly yet. But the reason I liked that particular solution is, if you're using the tally marks for anything, there is so much repetition in them. You have to have 3 of the same letter, if we assume, let's say, because, like I said, there's no inherent coordinates to pair together, I did try, let me try another one. This is a live testing of one I tried earlier, but I didn't get any results, and I'm pretty sure so let's say, like, for example, what are the tally marks are coordinates for each other in this context? So let's say 5 on page 9 and 10 are 5, 10. So 5, 10 down. T. Alright, sounds promising. And then we wouldn't have if we picked 14, for example, for the total page, this wouldn't work. But if we broke it up as 5 and 9 instead of 14, then you have 5, 4, and 5, 4, yep. J. And then we have 5, 5. So TJC. That's gibberish. There's no letter. There's not even a vowel there. What would this mirrored be? G H GHC, because 5 is going to be the same no matter what. Yeah, GHC it's not much better. Wait, no, 510 would be, no, yeah, that's, wait, 5, no. Oh yeah, this was what I got before. This is, sorry, I did this, how did I get J? Oh, that was 5, 4. Which is what it, no, it's 5 and 9, because yeah, no, sorry, it's 5, 9. So it would be TAC, it wouldn't be TJC. Yeah, it'd be TAC, because it's 5, it's 5 on the left side, and then 5 and 4 on the right side for 9. So 5, 9, TAC. Sometimes I wonder if it's just, like, if the code is just wrong. As silly as that would be. Like, Scott just messed up a letter, and it's just supposed to be like tie or something like that. I do not think it's the case. But that would be funny if that was what happened. But, like, that's an example of, like, didn't get anything there. I tried. One popular solution, for example, right now is, though it's still kind of flawed in a similar aspect, is trying to take the happiest day balloons. So 3, 2, second screen, 2, 3. Let's put this over. So 3, 2, V, 2, 3, N, and then 4, 1, I think it was. 4, 1, D. Wait, I'm trying to remember how they. There was some way they got. I think it was. Oh, 5, 1, right? 5, 1. It's not 4, 1. 5, 1. 5, 1 is E. And then I think the logic was 3, 5 for the 3 cakes and the 5 people, but then it's like, why are we using this screen but not that one? And then it's like, how do you distribute, like, so A, getting that final letter didn't make much sense, and B, it's like, which order would that one be in, because it's a different rule set than the other balloons are. And then there was like another attempt at it with this, where it's like taking the first few letters that this one got, and then it was like, well, by using the order of the people, you get them. And that didn't really work out. Here's one I want to try. That would be 7, because this is its own screen, I think. I think the line of demarcation is, so it's first screen, I think it's 3 screens total. And this is the final screen. So if that was the case, it would be 7. Then we're adding the balloons to the kids. 8. And then it would be 12. And I don't see what you do with that number, never mind. Yeah, because that's not enough to do anything with the tally marks, and that doesn't mean much on its own. Unless you were trying to prepare. Even then, that's not much. Yeah, you could do like 5 to 5, 3, and then 6 potentially, to try and pair, like, oh, have the balloons be one set of coordinates and the other, but that's only 3 letters, which I think one of the only names you could get would be tie. W, Q, that's not a good sign. X, okay, let's try 2, 5. Z, A, Waz, Zao, Za. Yeah, that's not a name. And that doesn't have the tally marks, which I feel like the solution probably is intended to be something with the tally marks. I mean, obviously no one really knows for sure what that solution is. But ideally, this whole grid will make that easier, you know? It will make it a little easier for everyone to work together and collaborate on trying to find the solution to this damn puzzle. If there's anything wrong with the Foxy Grid, please notify me. And I can fix the grid not too difficultly. I'm probably going to make it one Google Drive folder that will have a Photoshop document version of it, so you can separate the layers and mess with it however you want. And then just the 2 images in high resolution for anyone to look at, with the Foxy version and then the completed version that goes all the way down here. And then, like I said, the Photoshop document version means for anyone who has like editing software like that, it should be easier to move things around and do whatever you want. Anyway, that was 21 minutes of me talking about this damn Foxy Grid. I don't know if I'm gonna put music or anything in this. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just pop this into an editing software to give it a little bit extra. I don't know. Anyway, Bye.